Okay. Um, well, when Matthias Langner from the CGIC and now from Digility called me and asked me about, hey, can you do a talk at Digility? I said, sure, I can do, but unfortunately I have no work to show because all the stuff I'm working on right now is confidential and internal only. So he said, well, that's no problem. Because we need also a talk for computer graphics and how the relationship between computer graphics, VR and AR, and how all that fits together. And so I said, no problem. That's what I have been talked in the past also, and I can do that for you. So the next 20 minutes, I come a little bit closer to you so that you can better see me. I first introduce me a little bit that you can understand about my past and what I've done so far. And second part is the relationship, what I just talked about between computer graphics, VR and AR. And then I have my personal wave index, don't take it so serious, but it's a visualization of how I see things are right now and where we are standing with VR and AR. And then some takeaways maybe for you. I don't know which one of you is also already in VR. Maybe give me a hand if you're doing high-end VR stuff and AR stuff right now. Or if you are maybe a beginner, that's also fine because I want to talk also about computer graphics and just lose some words about how everything is built up. Is someone really new to this computer graphics? Give me a hand. Okay, thank you. Great. So let's start with me. I started at 1976 my research and development in this world. So I was born, and after the school I did some internships and worked as freelancer for a couple of companies in my hometown in Stuttgart. And at that time I learned a lot about 2D image manipulation, compositing and editing. In the cartoon business as well as in the business of commercials, and but I found out that there's missing something. I just did 2D graphics at that time, and 3D was really new, and it was really like techy at that days. And hard to get informations about, hard to learn. Nowadays we have tutorials everywhere. You could learn 3D computer graphic, no problem. But at that time it was really hard. And so I decided to study in that field, and I began studying in the year 2000 at the German Film School for Digital Production. And at that time I could close my gap in the 3D world. So I had a complete overview of all the techniques that are out there for visualization. After my studies, I founded a company called Frahm, and we did a little in Berlin, and we did a little work about in the field of advertising and also cartoon. But then there came a call from south of Germany, from my hometown Stuttgart, where a Daimler company, a daughter company, wanted to start visualization from CAD data. And at that time also that was pioneer work. There were no processes. They just switched from 32-bit Windows to 64-bit so that you could use more memory in your computer to load heavier data sets. And then they wanted to do a car configurator with images. And I said, yeah, cool, let's do that. And at that time, I didn't know what that meant because we had to create all those processes of the whole CAD data transfer to our Maya system, where we did the visualization at that time. We rendered with mental ray, and that was a huge problem to get images that are photorealistic, and that was the goal for this configurator. But we did our things good, and it went there that we did some images also for catalogs for Mercedes, and at that time there was a question of is the quality good enough, or is photography better? And that was really a big struggle at these days. I remember working as competitor to Macrovision, and they did also great visualizations at these days, and we both fight it together against or with a marketing team to say, yeah, CG is photorealistic, and we proved it, and we made photographs and did renderings at that time. It was very interesting. So in 2008, I joined Mercedes-Benz design team, and because there was a call, they wanted to do more animations. And I really liked the idea to get more into film and running images. And so I joined Mercedes-Benz Design, and in 2017, I joined the Volkswagen team. I joined the Hooks team. If you don't know what Hooks is, it's a holistic user experience. And we also do visualizations there, and it's not about the high-end visualizations you have, but it's more about storytelling, and that is also very interesting, how to tell users stories. But that's enough for me. Let's start maybe with a CG visualization basics. If you're new to that, you need a few things. Imagine just if you open up your 3D application, there's nothing in. You have to create everything on your own. So from the one point, you have the geometry which you have to build. Either you can take it from your CAD data, import it, or you have to rebuild everything on your own. Then you need, of course, some shaders, materials you apply on this geometry. You need lighting. You need to create some basic lights or use an HDR map for lighting your whole virtual objects and scene so that it's looking really realistic. And if you want to do some animations and not stills only, then you have to create some keyframes in time. At the beginning, the object is here, and at the end, it's here, and the computer does the calculation between, and you can. That's a job of the animator, of course. And at the end, you have rendering. This is a really noisy one, but yeah, the noise gets out if you render a lot of more. But this is more or less the past of the offline rendering. I will come to that, to the future in a second. So what we did in the past, when we created computer graphics, we had all the data in our virtual room. We had all the lights, all the information. We were completely free to choose a scenery and render out pictures. And that's what we did. We did it in the 2D room. So our media is for the TV screen or for your screen at home at your computer. But it's a 2D representation of the 3D world. And so you could create a photo or film, web or game. But it's then you reduce your complexity of the 3D scene to 2D. But what we have now is we have now the new tools of VR and AR, and this is getting back the full free being in the digital space or in the virtual reality. So when you put on your virtual reality glass, you are into this 3D world. So you can step into this CG things, but you have to make sure that you do the lighting and all the setup properly. And this is called presence. I don't know if you already had this feeling. I mean, there are good and there are bad virtual reality experiences out there. The good ones, then you have, at the moment when you put on your device, you have this feeling of presence, that you are really there, because you have 90 hertz and 90 images per second in stereo that is rendered from the real-time hardware, and you feel like you're there. And I had this presence feeling a few years ago at SIGGRAPH, and this was mind-blowing for me, because you could walk inside your 3D models and inside your 3D scene. So to sum that up a little bit, in computer graphics, reality is digitized. You need everything to rebuild in computer graphics if you want to achieve a reality-like experience. And VR and AR are the tools that opens the gate to this virtual world. And the important thing is, if you are new and you're not, you hear all those buzzwords about VR and AR, and you don't know the relationship between the computer graphics and stuff, all you need is, at least you need the 3D data of your products. If you have products and you haven't been thinking about 3D data right now, you need that for the future, because VR and AR will really come. I come to that in a few seconds, but you need to digitize your stuff. From the model you need to digitize, and also you have to have the materials of the model, at least that, to start in the VR and AR. The automotive industry, as you have seen in my overview, what I've did for, started really early with that. So they had all the CAD data, and it was converted, and nowadays we have processes and everything works fine. So every car is in 3D data already. But there are other companies, huge architectural firms, they also have the data, so they are now working with it. They're working with CG visualization, they're already working with VR, but I think there are a lot of industries who don't know about, and they have not the data they need for the future. I had the chance to be at SIGGRAPH this year. SIGGRAPH is a computer convention, mainly in the US. This time it was in Canada. And Jensen Huang, the CEO of NVIDIA, presented the new graphic boards. And he did a great demo together with my colleagues from Porsche Design and with the Unreal guys. And they did a nice real-time ray tracing demo. And then they took 2 of the new RTX Quattro boards, and they created a film. The film is called The Speed of Light. And if you, I say, you can Google it and have a look at this film. Because when Jensen was on the stage, he showed this film, and afterwards he said, okay, that was a nice film, but this was not a film, this was real time. And everyone, oh, wow, not bad, because you haven't had real-time reflections at that until now. So this was a big improvement, and you see the quote of Tim Sweeney: real-time ray tracing is here, years before anyone thought possible, and it's going to completely change how artists and designers work. So take a moment and think about it. So we had this workflow of offline rendering, where you have your 3D editor like Maya or Max, and at the end there's a rendering process. And nowadays, if you have this technology where you have real-time ray tracing, then you directly work in your final image, and that's a really big change in production. So to sort the thing CGI and visualization and AR, VR, I created my wave index. Don't take it serious. It's just for visualization purposes. So I use this, that the wave is the coming. It's that a new technology is everyone is talking about. There are a lot of buzzwords around no one is really knowing about. Then it's breaking the wave, so it's really getting through the roof. And at the end, you might want to surf the wave, because if the wave breaks over you, then you are not within. You're not the winner of that, and so the surfing on the wave is the way you want to go. I say that a CG visualization right now is on the surfing, so everyone uses it. So I cannot imagine an industry without a visualization. They're all doing it right now. It's almost perfect, so it's very well developed. And right now we are transforming everything to real time. At the breaking point, I would say, is virtual reality right now. I've seen some second-gen devices from VR headsets at SIGGRAPH too. So you have 5K there, you have an excellent graphic, you have a wide field of view. So we are already there. The products are out now. So there are coming a few products now of the second-gen devices. And also, if you know the Gartner hype cycle, that's about all the technologies out there which are being hyped and which are on their way. to be successful, and Gartner removed virtual reality out of the hype cycle because they said it's not anymore a hype. Industry is using it already. And then the third one is the augmented reality. In my opinion, we are early in that field. There are developer devices out there, and you can make the mobile experiences right now, but it's not there, and it just needs a couple of more years, I think. So if you haven't done anything with computer graphics, VR, AR, so I would suggest you that you start right now with that. Because it's a good starting point, because I think that augmented reality will really hit the market someday, and when it does, then you want to have your products and services digitized, and you want to have an idea how to use this at that time point. Because if at some point a major company like Google or Apple comes out with a great AR device, then it hits the markets, millions of people uses it, and there's a huge need of every business to be in this market. And if you haven't done your homework then and did your products or digitalized your products, then you're maybe not surfing the wave. So as takeaways, VR might not affect your current business by now, but AR will definitely. I suggest build up your assets in CG if you haven't done yet. Use VR and mobile AR now to dive in. Use this technology to test things, build up prototypes, build up internal teams, specialists that know about CGI, that test things out, how your products will be in this world, build up experiences, how the consumer in a few years will use these products, your services in this new AR world. Imagine a little bit about that, because it will happen. I'm sure for that. Yesterday we had some nice talks about the future of AR, and I mean everyone is clear about that. The devices are getting smaller, and at some day someone will come out with a great device, and then you want to definitely be in that. And yeah, so prepare for this AR transformation and think outside the box. There is this nice movie I found on YouTube. It's an older one. Maybe a few of you know it already. It's from Keiichi Matsuda from 2016. It's called Hyper Reality. It's a 6-minute short film. And have a look at that on YouTube. It's really funny because I don't hope that this is the future of AR, but something of that maybe is it. And just think about, take some minutes and think about how your company and your products will play part in this future of AR. And with that, I thank you very much for your attention. Yeah, and close my talk.